Good morning, students. So, today we are going to start a new topic. But before starting my topic, I would like to check your previous knowledge. So, students, tell me, do you know how many planets are there in our solar system? Yes, 8. And what are the 8 planets? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and the last one, Neptune. Yes, students. Now tell me, which planet has life? Yes, Earth, our own planet. What is the Earth surrounding of? Water. Yes. And what is the shape of Earth? Circular. Yes. Now, students, next question. Whoever answered this question will know the name of the topic. So, students, listen carefully. So, tell me, what is the Earth made up of? Yes, absolutely right. So, students, today's topic is layers of Earth. Students, you must have seen many things which are similar to those on Earth. Please give me some examples. Onion, yes. Eggs, okay. So, students, we call them shape of Earth is similar to onion, eggs, right? And I also showing here an egg as a representation of the Earth. Just see in our slide, I will cut the egg into two parts. Just like this egg, the Earth is divided into three layers. How many layers? Three layers. Now let's moving into the layers of Earth. I already told you shape of Earth is similar to onion, eggs, right? Which contain several layers, just looking like Earth. Earth is made up of several concentric layers with one inside another. So, students, Earth is made up of three layers. And what are the name of three layers? Crust, mantle, and core. Now, moving on our first layer, which is crust. Just see in this diagram, this blue portion area, which we called crust, means uppermost layer. Uppermost or outer part. So, you define crust like this. The uppermost layer of the earth surface is called crust. Now see in details. The earth crust is like the skin of an apple. It is very thin compared to the other three layers. The crust makes up how much percent? Only 1% of the earth. The crust of the earth is broken into many pieces, which we called plates. Now we see the features of crust layers. Features are as follows. Number 1, outer layer. Outer or upper, both are same term. The uppermost layer of the earth's surface, which we called crust, means outer surface. I already told you outer layer, upper layer, which we called crust. Now see another feature. How much kilometer thick? 5 to 100 kilometer. How many types of crust? Two types. You just see here in this diagram. Oceanic crust, another continental crust. Oceanic crust, which is very dense, which is made up of basalt. Just another continental, which is very less dense and made up of granite. As you can see here very clearly, one side oceanic crust, another side continental crust. Oceanic, which is made up of basalt, and continental, which is made up of granite. Students, there are two more important features. You just note down, I will tell you. The main mineral contained of the continental mass are silica and alumina. Okay, there are two main mineral which we contain in the crust layer. One is silica, another alumina. Another feature is also very important. Crust is the thinnest of all the layers, right? Students, listen carefully and note down all the points. Now moving on our second layer,
which we called mantle layer. Firstly, we see the meaning. The mantle is the layer below the crust. As you can see here, mantle layer, which be red portion area, which we called mantle layer. Just below the crust, mantle layer is putted. The mantle is the largest. The mantle is the just all the layers, mantle is the largest. Like when we are talking about first layer, which we called crust, and we see the feature, then what we can see? Crust is the thinnest. Here we can see mantle is the largest. The mantle is divided into two regions. One is upper, another one is lower section. Now students, tell me. I already mentioned you. I will ask you questions from time to time. So, you can tell me, name the minerals present in crust. Yes, alumina and silica. Correct. Name the topmost layer of earth. Yes, crust. And explain the layer of crust. The uppermost layer of the earth's surface is called the crust. Correct. Students, just like crust, which is how much kilometer thick? 5 to 100 kilometer, right? As it is mantle layer, it extends up to how much kilometer depth? 2900 kilometer. And also mantle layer consists of the hot, dense, semi-solid rocks. Okay, students? Students will clear the doubt if any. No doubt? Okay, so students, now moving on, our third layer, which we called core. Core is also divided into two parts, outer core and inner core. But firstly, we see the meaning of core. The innermost layer is called the core. Now tell me students, I have a question. What is the radius of mantle layer? I already told you. Yes, its radius is 2900 kilometer. Correct. Now see in details. Firstly, we see the outer core. You can see in this diagram this yellow portion area, which we called outer. The core of the earth is like a ball of very hot metals. The outer core is which form? In liquid form, and is made up of iron and is very dense. Now moving on, inner core. You can see this white portion which be at the center of the earth, which we called inner core. Just below the outer core, inner core is putted at the center. Where inner core is putting? At the center of the earth. The inner core of the earth has temperatures and pressures. So great that the metals are squeezed together and are not able to move. Just like outer core is in which form? Liquid form. As it is same here, inner core, but in inner core is which form? Solid form. Okay students? Students, I already told you na, every layer have a radius. Just like crust, how much kilometer? 5 to 100 kilometer thick. Just below the crust, which layer is putted? Mantle. And mantle layer, how much kilometer depth thick? How much kilometer depth? 2900 kilometer. as it is our third layer which we called core. Core is also have a radius. Radius of this layer is 3500 kilometer. And also it is mainly made up of nickel and iron, which we called knife. Okay students. Now students, as you can see our second slide, there is a question here. How are the earth layer similar to an egg? So students, like you can see, earth have several layers, right? Does the same thing apply in egg? Just you can see the outer part. The outer part, you just hold an egg in your hand and you can see the outer part which we called shell, right? Which means crust layer. And when you can break down the crust, you can see the egg white portion which we called which layer? Mantle layer. And when you can the last innermost part, you just see the yellow portion area which we called yolk. That means which layer? It is the last layer which we called core layer, right students? So students, I hope you understand all the topics. Now it's time to give you homework. So here is your homework. Write down in your notebook. I will check you tomorrow. So that's all for today's class. Thank you and a cheerful day.